Welcome back to Straight Facts on Friday. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing wherever you are tuning in from around the world. I'm here in London today at the home of the Football Terrace. Our new studio. It isn't quite ready yet. We are setting some things up. You'll see more of it next season. I've got Lawless here. I've got Man Like Dom. Staffy's meant to be here, but he's having one of those days where he probably slept in. In fairness, he is 6 hours behind the rest of us. Loads to talk about today. Is Gyokeres to Arsenal done? Could there be a hijack from Liverpool in this deal as well? Potentially. Frimpong to Liverpool complete. We're going to get the boys' opinion that it will complete. It's literally in the final stages. Staffy just joins us now, actually. So we're talking about those couple of deals and stuff today as well. Plus, we want to have a debate. Is Yamal the best current football player in the world? And we're going to have a look ahead of tonight's games. What will Chelsea win? Will United cause a stir? Villa, are they going to get the 3 points? And I want to get the boys' opinion ahead of the Europa League final next week, because I won't see them between now and then. First thing I have to address before we get into these stories is apologies on Sunday morning, Lawless, for giving it the big one about beating West Ham. Sorry.
I'm glad we started. I'm glad you got it up front.
Just get it out of the way. I hold my hands up. I plead guilty. I messaged him at about 8 a.m. saying, I hope you're ready to lose today. And in fairness, KJ responded straight away going, well, we've just fucking lost. Because every time I give it the big and we lose. So
for someone who talks about the football gods so much, Terry, you angered them Sunday. You angered them.
On a Sunday as well, you know. I did it on a Sunday. Yeah. It was ridiculous. But yes, well done and congratulations to West Ham for winning a dead rubber. Well done. Well done.
It's not listen, it's the race for 13th. It's important. That's our own little mini league. We've got a mini league to win. So you know what I mean? We'll get one of them little Sunday league trophies.
I hear you. Welcome, Staffy, by the way. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hello, Lawless.
You're gonna congratulate me also, Staffy? Where's the
What's that?
The congratulations. So you're gonna join Terry and congratulating me on the win?
Oh, sure. Congrats. Today, I'm done with your league. Now I got the Don League.
Yeah, boy.
The game that I have zero interest of watching, by the way. Quite literally zero interest.
I'm sure you have a lot of
Don is excited for it. I had him message me a few days ago saying, what did you send the message again? I can't wait to F up these lot. And I'm like, bro, like,
who?
You.
Oh. No, I said we need to beat these. Yeah. See you next Tuesday is what I said. That's what I said, bro.
No, you said F them up. You were so I don't know why you were so passionate about this game. As if it's like a title decider.
I'll tell you why he's passionate about it, right? I'll tell you why he's passionate. You remember I'm assuming this happened in the States as well, right? You know when you have those, you know that your class is going to fight another class or your school is going to fight another school. And you hit, and you're on your way there, and you're like a bit nervous, and then it turns out, I'm going to make a name up here. You know, Jamie Hodgson, the hardest kid in that class. Yeah, he ain't in school today, and then suddenly everyone's like, I'm well up for this now because none of us are going to get spanked because the big hard kid's not there. That's what it is with Don. Knows 1, we're bad. 2, we're going to have no intensity. 3, we're going to rotate. So he knows there's a big chance tonight that Chelsea score 3 or 4 goals. History will show it as a 3 or 4-0 victory. He'll remove all the context and dine out on it. I can read Don like those books that little babies read in the bathtub that are made out of like the foamy stuff. That's I'm reading Don easy. I get it. Don knows. Don actually knows in his heart of hearts if they're not winning 3-0 plus, it's actually an L for Chelsea with how bad we are and the fact we're rotating and no intensity. They should smash us tonight. If they've got anything about them, Chelsea, they should break us to pieces.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the reality of it. You know, you've got a final next week and whatnot. But the reality is, bro, Chelsea against United, you love to turn up against us. Let's be honest. You know, last season, we went up 2-0 at the Bridge. All of a sudden, Caicedo makes a stupid mistake. You come back into the game. Garnacho, another goal at the Bridge. Man did that celebration he stole from Kudus and that. You had Bruno. I think Bruno scored in that game as well. You know what I mean? We needed Cole Palmer to literally score last minute of the game to fucking win, right? It was earlier in the season, cool, fair enough. But I'm not taking this game lightly, innit? Regardless of what you've got going on next week, we need to do our job. And I don't want the mentality of we're just going to win this game because they've got a game next week. They're not going to try and all of these things because I've been there, even started this season where United was so bad, we draw against you guys. We stoop down to your level. last season, bro. We go to United, we go to Old Trafford, bro, and you absolutely you should have battered us the amount of chances that you got, bro. We lose that game 2-1, but if you go check the XG again, United should have absolutely destroyed us. You know, so it's not to say that I'm scared of today. It's just that the history of the games between United and Chelsea, they're never smooth sailing. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised today if you see Chelsea win 2-1 or Chelsea win 1-0 or something like that, because, you know, we're just not taking our chances, or United are actually trying to win the game, or they're trying a little something. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, we should beat you. We're in better form right now. You've got something bigger to think of next week. But jokes aside, I'm not taking it as a joke, Terry. We need to turn up today. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You guys, if you guys turn up with a lack of intensity, a lack of authority, if you don't start in the opening minute like a freight train, if you're not pressing us to pieces, one thing I would be doing, because forget that United are 16th. Even if we were sitting, unless we were fighting for a Champions League place ourselves, if we were sitting comfortably in second and we couldn't drop out the top of the league, these players in today's game would still go into it with a lack of intensity, because nobody would want to miss that final. So you should be going into every tackle hard, because the likelihood is that Man United players are going to pull out. They are not going to risk. They're just not going to do it. You might have someone like Bruno that probably wouldn't, because the way he's committed. And I wouldn't even be angry. Tonight of all nights, I wouldn't even be annoyed if I saw Garnacho pull out of a tackle on the edge of the box, because I understand why. So, but from your perspective, you need to be aggressive. You need to be forthright. You need to put it on us from the opening minutes. If you're lackadaisical, if you're playing like you're on the beach as well, like it's going to be easy, that's when mistakes could happen. And that's when United could stick a spanner in your works, which would be funny
100%.
considered.
100%, bro. And I've seen it 1,000,001 times, bro, where Chelsea are laxy-daisy. They're playing as if, they're winning 2-0 already. And then all of a sudden, sucker punch. And then now we're chasing the game. You see Maresca throwing everything on off the bench and that. I don't want that type of game today, bro. I want us to score first. We're at the bridge. Our form at home has been better than away this season. Funny enough, it was better away last year, right? But this year it's been better at home, right? So we have to win, bro. I know Newcastle, yes, we lost that game. First half, absolutely shocking. Second half was a little bit better, even with 10 men. But you have to remember, bro, before the Newcastle game, we had 3 wins on the bounce. So, like, we've not been on bad form recently, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've actually been playing quite well. Lavia's fit right now. Reece, he was ill the other day, but he's back again. You know what I mean? I'm expecting him to probably start in this game. So it's on these lot to be clinical and make sure that we just deal with you guys, bro. You keep it moving. You know what I mean? It's not going to mean nothing for you guys if you lose the game. But if we drop any points and you've got Villa playing Spurs today, bro, it's peak. It's fucking peak.
What do you make of it, Staffy? I mean, what do you want the approach from Man United to be tonight? In your view as a United fan, how do you want to see it approached?
Bro, travel with the under-18s. Who cares? This game is meaningless. You were talking about Garnacho and Bruno pulling out of tackles. I don't even see him on the pitch. I generally don't. Only the players that might need a little bit more minutes, because there's some players that are lacking fitness. But generally, just send the under-18s. Who cares for this game? Like, where are we going from this game? We're currently sitting in 16th with 39 points. The season has been over for weeks. I know Lawless was joking about the race to 13th. That's our mini league. But in reality, Lawless could say that because he has nothing to play for 2 weeks. So, of course, like, he's going to look to salvage. Like, it's not salvageable, but at least look a little bit prettier on the table right now, because where we're sitting, it's disgusting. But just send the under 18th. I'm genuinely not going to watch today's game. I'm telling you guys from now. I will not watch today's game. The game is going to be on at like 3 p.m. my time. I'm going to do everything else but watch the game. That's how much I don't care for the game. And I'm going to have Dunn message me on the WhatsApp or whatever, and I'm not going to care. They could be up 2, 3, 4, 5-0. Who cares? It's a meaningless game. I got a game on Wednesday. It's one of the biggest games that we had in recent years because of, obviously, the whole surroundings of it. So, no.
Won't you be happy if you win, though, Staffy? If you win, like, say you
I'll
win.
get to joke about it with Dunn, but other than that, I generally don't care. What is it going to do for me? Because, listen, Chelsea should be winning regardless. Regardless of how I put out, Chelsea should win. They're the better team this season. So, let alone when I put my under 18s, under 21s, or whatever. Like, I'm actually not joking when I say put the reserves.
Yeah, but the question is, Staffy, do you think Amram will do that, bro? Because, like, I'm seeing your traveling squad.
I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think he's gonna overly rotate, though.
He's not playing the reserves, though. We've got Fredrickson and Harry Amas in the squad, who are I would still look at as academy/fringe players. Kone's not there. Obi's not there. He's taking the first team. It's the first team squad. What I think I was speaking to Goldbridge about this on Wednesday. I think what he's going to do is, you saw what he did against West Ham. Kind of half the starting lineup, we kind of know will start the final. I think the other half of that lineup will start tomorrow, and the ones who started versus West Ham will be on the bench, and then players will come on to get 20, 25 minutes. What I find very interesting about the approach so far of Man United and Big Ange, it's the complete opposite. Ange is like resting everyone, barely giving anybody minutes, where Man United's manager is keeping them ticking over. It may become inconsequential. It might be a really good, close game. Both teams are in it. One team narrowly wins. You could see Spurs in that final look a bit rusty because some of their players haven't competitively kicked the ball for 2 weeks. You could find the other end and Man United look sharp. It could be the other way where Spurs look rested and firing and Man United's players look a little bit sluggish because they've played too much football. So I'm really intrigued about the sort of dichotomy and contrast between the approach between Amorim and Big Ange Postecoglou. But we are going to start there'll be at least 5 or 6 players starting tonight that will be starting on Wednesday, Staffy. 100% that's going to happen.
It's a little bit foolish. I'll be honest with you, because you mentioned Big Ange. He lost Kulusevski last game, and obviously they lost Madison and Bergvall before that. So now they're going into a final with 0 creative midfielders. I don't want to find myself in that situation. Like, I understand obviously that with the team traveling, yeah, some of these guys are going to start. I just think it's foolish. I wouldn't be starting Bruno. I wouldn't be starting Casemiro. I wouldn't be starting Maguire. I wouldn't be There's so many players that I wouldn't start. Like, these 30-plus players, I wouldn't be starting them whatsoever.
That's the thing, though, Staffy. For me, like what Terry said earlier, that's where I think these players, if they do start, right, I think for them, they're going to be like half-hearted into challenges and that, because like you're saying, they don't want to pick up an injury, right? So I don't see them being full-blown at it, because if they do that and they get injured, they miss the biggest game of your season. So yes, you know, I don't think you're going to start a weak team, but even if you do start these guys, I can see the intensity, like what Terry's saying. I could potentially see it being a little bit low for this game.
Which is why it's a game, like when I say I'm not going to watch it, I'm probably going to still watch it. Don't get me wrong. But
of course you're going to watch it. Don't lie, man. You're watching
it. I'm probably still going to watch it. Don't get me wrong. But like, this is like, if I don't care for it, I expect the players not to care for it as well. I'm probably not going to care for it because I know they won't. Like, there's certain players, as I said, I don't want to see them start. And the players that will start, it's most likely going to be players that can't start on Wednesday anyways. So Luke Shaw, I don't expect them to start. And he's been out for like 18 months. So give him more minutes, just in case we need him on Wednesday. He can be a little bit more fit. They're saying Heaven is back and he should be with the team. Play him some minutes, you know. Play the players that are not really going to start for us on Wednesday anyways. But if I see Mazraoui and Casemiro starting, I'm actually going to be pissed. Because all I hear about is how Mazraoui's out of energy, like his battery's on low. Casemiro obviously is one of the older ones, and he's going to be essential for us. Maguire can never play 90 minutes because he's been carrying an injury for a while, so we never leave him in for 90 minutes. I just wouldn't be starting these players. You know what I'm saying? Højlund is probably going to start, but Højlund starts every game, so it's just like something I'm over. Garnacho, yeah, you can argue he's a kid still. Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't think we should be prioritizing a win today whatsoever, because we keep doing this shit where we try to put these players to get some form going into the Europa League. Then we end up losing every game before the Europa League anyways, and then we win on the Europa League on Wednesday. So it's going to be the same thing. We're going to lose anyways. So
this is my only message to Man United fans. They won't, if you're Amorim out, they will ignore this because they have their agenda now and it's in place. And I'm telling you now, some of them, even if we were to win our opening 15 games in the Premier League next season. Now, of course, viewers, for the toaster people, I'm completely exaggerating on purpose to make a point. That shouldn't need explaining, but in 2025, due to, I don't know what it is. I can't actually say the word that begins with V because I'll get arrested. But a lot of people need that explaining to them. These guys will still be Amorim out when on the 16th game we lose it. So I'm not really that worried about their opinions, but every other Man United fan, whether we win 5-0 tonight and smash Chelsea or lose 5-0, I don't believe it will have any bearing on Wednesday night's result. Why? Because all season we've had terrible games coming into Europa League matches, and we've gone on to be brilliant in the Europa League. We've had really good matches, and we've gone into the Europa League and we've won, but we were very lucky. We haven't created momentum all season. ironically the same as Tottenham. So tonight's game, I'd like to win it, of course. But for me, no injuries is the real big win ahead of Wednesday's final. That's it. And if we did pick up a point tonight, we did magically pick up a win, I'd be happy. But honestly, it's not the important thing. Winning on Wednesday is so important to Man United. It really, really is.
Do you know what? I actually can see Man United turning up today. I think they'll turn up. They'll see it as one of the big teams, the big games. And you'll actually see a better Man United, and whether they'll win is another thing entirely. But it really wouldn't surprise me if they went out there and won. I know, like Don says, oh, you know, we have all these previous past games. That's why, you know, I'm not fully expecting a win. I think it will be a poor look on Chelsea. I mean, we had a terrible record at Old Trafford. Like the amount of games I've seen where we should have won that game, and we came out with no points is horrific. And, you know, we went there, got a clean sheet 2-0. So there's no excuse for Chelsea. But yeah, I just look at Man United and I think that they tend to, you know, look at the other games and think, you know, teams around, well, we can just turn up, we can roll over. Like to know that, to not get embarrassed, Man United know they're going to have to put a shift in tonight. So it just depends on how much personal pride they've got. Because if they just want to turn up like they did against us and, you know what I mean, it's just another day, then it may get embarrassing. So I think Man United, by that logic, will have to actually come out and give it their all, despite having a final next week. Because if you lose 5-0 or something, say you did, I think psychologically that can be damaging going into the final, right? You want to have some sort of, I mean, if you lose that too.
No one's going to give a shit about the context, bro. When Chelsea lost 5-0 to Arsenal, did they give a shit that fucking Enzo Fernandez was running about with one leg, bro? With a fucking hernia? They didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Did they give a shit? Yeah. Did they give a shit that Poch changed our best centre-back pairing and started Disasi and Badia Shield and Cramp Twins?
That is not good
enough. Did they give a shit? Did they give a shit? Did they give a shit? Hold on, Staffy. Let me land, man. Let me land, yeah? Did they give a shit that we started fucking, what's his name, yeah? The guy from Bully, bro. Jimmy Hopkins at right back. In the guy that plays for fucking Sheffield right now. What's my man's name? Alfie Gilchrist.
That's not good enough.
Shit, bro. Yeah? No, let's be real though, because there's context to that 5-0 loss. Yeah, there was context to that 5-0 loss, but end of the day, you don't care.
So what you just done? Sorry, Staffy. What you just done there, Don, though, is you are saying that you are turning into one of those delusional Arsenal fans that you despise tonight.
Well, not me. I'm saying not me, Terry, not me. I'm saying there's going to be a bunch of people.
You are going to do it. You are going to do it. You are going to do it.
I'm going to be shameless about it, of course. If that was to happen, I'll be shameless. But I'm saying there's actually deluded gooners that think there wasn't context to that game, bro. The lineup that we put out, and there'll be people like that. There'll be Chelsea fans like that, bro. If we absolutely smoke you lot, they won't give a shit about the context of what's going on right now. They'll be like, oh, we beat United 5-0, and they'll keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Right? But we need to win today anyway, because Forest, they're playing West Ham on Sunday. Lawless, please do us a favor. They're playing West Ham away as well. And yeah, we just need to get our W and put a little bit more pressure on them, because we've got them next.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, a big game for you tonight. Big game for Aston Villa. I expect both of you to win and both of you to put pressure, especially with, you know, City are not playing as well, because they've got obviously the FA Cup final tomorrow. Really good opportunity for Villa for this weekend, for Villa, for Newcastle, for Forest, and Chelsea to put that, you know, to get 3 points closer or get ahead of Manchester City, to put a little bit more pressure on them. And they've got two tough games left, playing is it Bournemouth and Fulham away on the final day. So look, it's going to be an amazing race for these Champions League positions. In my view, it is. Very quickly on the FA Cup final, because I'm going to touch on more of that tomorrow morning. But who do you see picking up the most famous domestic trophy, the best domestic trophy in the history of the world? Who's winning that on Saturday?
I think we should start with Lawless, to be honest. I think we should start with Lawless.
There you go. You got your FA Cup club.
Yeah. One of the clubs that were winning it when it was the best and most famous trophy.
Yeah, and it's still the best. Congrats.
Yeah. So, did you know what? This is such a tough one to call. This has probably been one of the harder finals to call in a while. And like, so even the Man United, like Man City one, I expected Man City to win that. It was a shock upset when Man United won. And that's not a dig, it's just a fact. But even like this is so much harder to call because of how just unreliable Man City have been. Like, you think they're sort of just starting to, get a little momentum back, and then they have that result against Southampton. Now, they've got the experience, they've got they've got Pep, they've got the winner's mentality. Palace have never won a trophy in their existence, so you think maybe that might count for something. But yeah, man, Glasner has won trophies, he's won finals. Oh man, Joe, I'm going to lean to Man City because I just feel like, although they've sort of been poor in the league, I think they'll just turn up for the big occasion. I think the occasion could get to Palace. But playing wise, like if you just went on it, football ability and form, I think it looks good for Palace right now. I think it's going to be a very good final. I think it's going to be quite close.
Looking good, Bav. It's looking good, Bav. Yes, Bav.
They're probably going to win it for De Bruyne, aren't they?
I just hope Palace do it. Actually, it's got nothing to do with City winning another trophy. That's a bonus. For me, I would just love to see a team that's just, it's almost just watching a side that's never won a trophy, just watching their fans experience it. There's something about that I like. There's something about that I personally enjoy when it comes to football. Often with the playoff games to get into the Premier League, watching a side that's never been here before get that promotion for the first time, there's something a little bit special about it, because fans of those clubs, listen, I'm not, West Ham may go into this category, but you have won European trophies, you have won FA Cup trophies. People pick their clubs for all different reasons. Sometimes it's location, sometimes it's who their parents support, sometimes it's just by chance. Genuinely, I would remember Phil, my best mate, said that he literally picked Arsenal, ended up being a very good pick, but he picked it because he counted which team, he looked at all the squad pictures and he picked the team that he could count with the most black players in it. And he said, that's the only reason I picked Arsenal in the I think it was the late 80s, early 90s. He could have picked Coventry. Do you know what I'm saying, right? People pick football teams for all manner of reasons. And being a Palace fan, just think there isn't even like a great granddad that remembers the glory days. And that's not a dig, it's just a reality. And we're all spoiled, not so much Lawless. But Staffy and me and Don, we've been spoiled. We pick teams that have gone on to be highly successful. And sometimes we even get a little bit, it's a League Cup, but I want more. We can be a little bit unbearable, I think, to the rest of the footballing world or nation anyway. So, yeah, I really hope Palace do it. I really hope they lift the trophy. I'd love to see it for their fans. Where I live now, down sort of Surrey way, there's a lot of Palace fans that live in my area, so I know a lot of Palace fans. So I'd love them to go and do it, to be fair. It'd be an amazing day. I just worry for them on that massive pitch. That's the one thing. City in a final, the way they hold on to the ball, it's going to be a warm day. I do worry for them, but I do hope.
Who do you think's gonna win that midfield battle though, man? Because like at least with Palace, they've got Wharton, who's for me the best on the pitch. They haven't got Rodri right now, Man City. They've had few problems with their midfield, you know what I'm saying? And, even when they played them away, when Palace played them away the other week, I know City came back and won that game, but, bro, Palace could have been at least 3 goals up. On the transition, they were looking dangerous, bro. They kept getting them on the transition. City were keeping the ball, losing the ball, bam, straight away. You know what I mean? And you've got Eze coming in good form right now. You've got Mateta.
Yeah, and Palace were 2-0 up at the Etihad like a month ago and should have gone 3-0 up. They one was, I think, ruled off offside.
Yeah.
Then there was another one they should have converted. They missed. And that would have probably killed the game off. That's how it's going to be tomorrow. If they concede like Forest did early in the game, I think they won't win. But if they can get those early chances, as they did in the previous league game, and take them, then they'll have a really, really, really big chance. What will also, I don't know if City have sold this out. Maybe Palace will have more fans in there. I'm sure there are Palace fans everywhere looking for tickets, even if they're in the wrong end. Sometimes you can make a lot more noise that way. They can do it, Palace. I'm not saying there's zero chance. I just worry about holding on to possession. City.
That's the thing, though, Terry. Like for me, how I'm kind of looking at it, Forest fucked up because they were scared, right? You could see in their game, like they wasn't playing well. They were just, it was like, oh my God, we're here now. You know what I mean? Whereas with Palace, they'll look at their recent record against Man City. Like City, I think I haven't checked their record recently, but I know they've had games against Palace in like recent seasons where
it's their bogey team.
Palace has been their fawn, innit? It's been their fawn, their bogey team, right? And they literally would look at that game against them a few weeks ago away, and they'll use that, bro. You know, I think start of the season, did they draw against them or did they beat them? I watched that game. I was out and about that game. I think Palace beat them that game, bro. Drew. I think they drew that. City definitely didn't win that game. That was when City won a bad drop. They definitely didn't win that game.
Let's go. This is Palace's record versus City, so it's easier to read. So, we say it's. I don't know. No, they drew 2-2.
Yeah, they drew 2-2. I remember that game.
Yeah, I mean, we say they're a bogey team. I think we're overstating it. Okay, so since 2019, Palace have won 1 and drawn 3. They've only beaten them since 2000. Since 2001. The Palace have beaten City 1, 2, 3, 4 times. They've beaten them 4 times in 25 years. And they've lost to them in those 25 years. I think it reads here 19 times.
How many times has City beaten them in the past? Let's say 3 seasons.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Five wins. 5 wins. 5 wins. 4 draws. 1 defeat. It's everybody's thinking back. Everybody's thinking back to 2018 with that the goal from Townsend, or that was 2021. There was a 3-2 win in 2018, and then they had that 2-0 win in 2021. The Townsend one must have been the 2018 one. You've got to remember as well, the one in 2021. There is a little bit of context in that. I think they were 1-0 up, and then a player got sent off as well. So they are a bogey. When people say they're a bogey team, they've given them tough games.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we need to reevaluate that. I don't think they're their bogey team, but Palace tend to actually give it a go, because over the years, like you see Man City, they just beat these teams comfortably. Whereas with Palace, they actually give it a go. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be as straightforward, man. I think with Palace, they just need to go in there with the mentality of we're going to beat them. You know what I mean? And that's how they're going to do it. Because Man City, yes, they're in the final, but they're still vulnerable, man. They're still vulnerable.
No, you are right.
I need fans there to do the Pardew dance if they go 1-0 up, man. I need them to do that.
That was bad luck. Didn't they lose that day against us?
Yeah, I know. I need him to do that.
Someone is like Terry. So you want Spurs to win next week if you want the underdogs to win? Of course. I mean, yeah, of course, not against my team. You know, I remember being on the tube on the way up to the game. I went to the final against Palace, and I was chatting to a lot of Palace fans, really good people, and I was like, yeah, I really would love for you guys to win, but just not against my side. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Viewers, give us your score predictions now, whether you're watching it live or you're watching the playback. We'll know. Leave your comments on that one. We have a super chat here. Interesting, that says Chelsea is slowly becoming Spurs, needing Arsenal for relevance. How long have Arsenal clapped Chelsea?
How long have you clapped us? You literally beat us 5-0 last season. When was the time before that when you clapped us? We finished 12th. You beat us 3-1 away. We drew with you at the Bridge. So you beat us 1-0 at the Bridge. This season we drew with you at home. Then you beat us 1-0 away. You haven't smoked us like that.
No, I think he means it's been a long time since Chelsea have actually beat Arsenal.
Yeah, and what's that one then?
I mean, I didn't actually realize that Chelsea have only beaten Arsenal.
It's been time, bro.
Twice in 6 years.
Yep.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's mad. Twice in 6 years.
Terry, I'm telling you, bro, it's a disgrace, bro. Yeah, growing up, Drogba was the Arsenal slayer. Every game I'm going into, I know we're beating these guys. You know what I mean? And tables have turned. But anyway, enjoy your little moment. Enjoy your little moment, man. I'm just glad that you've got no majors during that period.
Yeah, but then you look at it in the Roman era. In that Roman era, it went from February 2024 until December 2001. And you played them across all competitions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. There was 10 games without losing to them. You went in that early Roman era. You then lost 2 out of 3 games. Then you won 5 on the bounce. You had a very, very good record against them.
Very good record. Very good record. I'm pretty sure Drogba scored every time he played these guys, bro. He even scored in the cup final against them, League Cup final.
Was that the one where John Terry got kicked in the head and was unconscious?
No, I think that was the FA Cup.
Yeah, that was a different comp, I think.
No, that was definitely the League Cup. I know it was the League Cup because it was
the League Cup.
I swear it was the League. Yeah, that was the League Cup in.
Yeah, that was Diaby that kicked him. Yeah. You're right. Diaby.
I thought
Diaby, yeah.
I honestly thought he was going to die. Like when I watched it, because that was back in the day where they'd show replays on TV, and I see him get kicked, the way his head moved, he was on the floor. I was like, oh, he's dead, man. I wasn't trying to be horrible. I remember just in my head as a younger man going, oh my, because they put the camera on him, and his eyes were like open, laying on the floor. I was like, oh my god, like my knee jerk was, oh my god, he's dead. Obviously, he wasn't, thankfully.
You know, it was Terry. Yeah? It was scary watching that because obviously you know what happened with Czech as well. You know what I mean? And then to see that happen to JT was mad.
Yeah. Well, that game with Czech was crazy though, because the same
this was
what's his name? Was his name Hunt? His name Hunt. Can't quite remember his name. Whatever his name was, he literally took out both your goalkeepers in the same game, badly. I think he didn't fracture Colaccini's head, but he did something else to him when he was running through on goal. Yeah, that was a mad game. That was. This is start Garnacho. He cooked James and Cucurella last time.
No, it was Anthony that cooked Cucurella last time, bro.
No, Garnacho last year, but that was Old Trafford. I know which game he's
No, that was Stamford Bridge. That was when they came back and beat us 4-2.
No, he's talking about the game where we beat them 2-1. Was it 2-1? A home one. McTominay scored twice. Something.
Yeah. But McTominay, see, Poch started Cucurella right back that game. I remember.
Yeah. I was about to ask you that because I don't remember, but I do swear I remember him starting out right back.
He did. He started at right back. Cole started left back.
It was Reece James. He came back after I don't know how long it's been, and he low-key got cooked as well.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Ronnie here. Tonight isn't make or break for who starts a final. The manager knows who he's already picking. Joshua here. 6
days or 5 days before a final, you have to earn your spot. Then what is the manager doing? There's no chance.
I think maybe though certain things could color. He's probably has his lineup right, but there's certain things that could impact his decision.
We all know who's gonna start for us in the final. Lawless, I'll be honest.
Joshua here says, "I'm sorry. Go win the game tonight. If he rotates, knowing we have zero momentum, it's insanity. We struggle against teams in this league. We're playing a team in this league on Wednesday. Get some momentum.
There is no momentum. When are you guys going to get this in your heads? We haven't had any momentum all season. Now I'm going to get momentum all of a sudden. One game is momentum. You build up momentum on form on multiple games. What did we do last game? We didn't win. Great. Now I'm going to win next game because I just beat Chelsea. Come on. What are we doing here? There's no momentum to be gained. Finals are played in isolation anyways. I went last season to a final against City. They had the momentum and I won. Come on, generally, nobody should care. Saying I'm sorry, go win this game as if it matters. I'm sorry. It's just
why do you think some Man United fans do care? Why do you think some United fans are saying we've got to be brilliant, we've got to be on point?
Because we're desperate for wins. I hear it. It's not their fault for wanting that. Like I'm not angry at them for wanting to win. I'm just like I just don't care. I know we're probably not going to win anyways. We're just not going to win. We've been saying it all season. We haven't had any back-to-back wins in the league all season. And we only had a couple back-to-back wins between Europa and the league. And you could count them on one hand. It was about like 3 times, I think, we picked up back-to-back wins all season. There will be no momentum. If we beat Chelsea, I swear to God, no one is going to have any more chest than what we have currently going into Wednesday. You think in the next 3 days, I'm going to be having a different conversation if I'm doing a stream or speaking to you guys. But yeah, you know why I'm beating Tottenham this Wednesday? Yeah, because I just smacked Chelsea. Remember when I just beat them 2-1 over the weekend at Stamford Bridge? Yeah, that's why I have momentum. Now I'm going to smoke Spurs. No one is saying that. Generally, no one is saying that. And no one is foolish enough to believe that this Chelsea game is generally going to make or break our momentum going into this. Would it be nice? Of course. Everyone wants to go into the next game on a win. But if we're going to pretend we're going to have crazy momentum now because we just beat a Chelsea team, no one will, bro. We'll spend more time just making fun of Chelsea instead of praising this team because we're probably going to look at the context and be like, how the fuck did we win today? That's the only way I can think about it.
Rob here says, imagine asking this question. Why do you think some of our fans care if we win? So again, he then says United have fallen. It's hilarious. But again, you're removing the context. You're removing the context of what we're discussing. The question isn't why do our fans want us to win games? That is a very basic, very open question. Of course, everyone wants to win all games. We're talking about why is it that Man United fans feel that winning this game is so important ahead of the final? When at no point this season have we had momentum going into these Europa League games and we've won them. Even in the league, when we've won games, you think, right, let's build some good performance against Liverpool. could have won the game, but we played well. Take that momentum into the next game. It hasn't happened. What I'm asking, Rob, isn't why do you want your club to win games? It's why do you think some United fans are so desperate for tonight's game to create momentum? What is there? What do you think is going through their mind? Why are they so desperate all of a sudden? We know what we are, and that is a very poor league team. We've been a very good European team this year. There's been no momentum at any point. So when I hear we have to win tonight for momentum, I don't understand that. I think there's another train of thought, though, aside from what Staffy said, and it's I think some people want to build every game up like it's the most important thing in the world, so that if they don't win, you can say, I told you we should have sacked him. I get that gut feeling from some people as well, when they know in their heart of hearts that even if we win 5-0 tonight, it's not going to change their mind about the manager anyway. So I'm not saying Joshua Jack saying that. I'm just saying some are. But yeah, I think it's a very fair question to ask. I guess you should not bother winning games in the league then since Christmas. But that really isn't what's being said. That isn't what's being said at all. You're removing the context of the conversation, and you're now given an answer which is completely irrelevant. Because if we'd been winning games since Christmas until now, we would have gained momentum. So therefore, we'd be talking about we wouldn't even be having the conversation about if we'd have won loads of games since Christmas. We were currently sitting 8th and had a very good second half of the campaign. Every Man United fan would be saying, I don't care about tonight. They wouldn't care about momentum because they know that we're a decent team. They'd be saying rest and rotate, don't care about the result, can't make it to the Champions League via the league. I'm asking why now is suddenly momentum so important? And since when has momentum been available after one game? I don't get it. That's Rob. The thing is, Rob, you keep posting the same thing. You're not actually responding to my question, which means you know we're right.
Just ignore him. But I was gonna say, wasn't it? What was the Arsenal game right before PSG? I forgot who they played, and they lost, and they put their strongest team, and everyone cooked Arteta for being the only team in the semifinal of the Champions League that went with a strong squad. Which game was it? It was like a couple weeks ago. You guys remember? It was
when they played. No, it wasn't Everton. It was they played someone at home.
Yeah. I think they played Bournemouth. Thank you, chat.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, they played Bournemouth. Yeah. They were the only team in the semifinal that put a strong squad. Barcelona rested the majority of their squad. Inter rested most of their squad, and PSG rested all their squad. Arsenal were the only team that played, and the reasoning behind that, a lot of people said, "Oh, but they're trying to get a win and get some form because they just lost to PSG the first game, so they didn't want to lose 2 games in a row and play PSG in the semifinal, in the second leg of the semifinal." And people said that was stupid. Just rest your team. Who cares for the win? Now, in a season where we're not going to win anything anyways in the league, we're just dead anyways. We did lose last game. I don't believe there's any form to be gained. Now we're getting criticized for doing the opposite of what. This is why, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Some people just flip flop their logic just to cook on Twitter and just to talk shit in the chat. I'm not surprised. If we go on today and we put a strong team and we get cooked, we're gonna be like, "Oh, that was so stupid for Emmer. Why would he do that? He knows the league doesn't matter anyways. Just rest everyone." And if he puts the kids and we win, he's gonna be and we lose, they're gonna say the same thing. They're gonna be like, "Oh, why would you not go for a strong team and try to carry momentum?" I've clocked this YouTube game, this social media game in a while now. I just know how people move. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation.
My final point to Rob is, you said you didn't ask any question, dude. You just said the word context and shifted the goalposts. No, absolutely not. The super chat implied momentum. And I asked the question off the back of the super chat. What I don't have to do is reiterate the entire question, the entire super chat into the question when it's quite clear and obvious that we're talking about the super chat. Rob, what you're asking for is for us to explain everything that we do whilst we're doing it, which is me saying, do you guys think that Yamal is world class? And the reason why I'm asking you if Yamal is world class is I saw this tweet that suggested that he was world class. There's been some other tweets, by the way, Don, that have said that he's not world class and just having a really good season. Some people actually think, Lawless, that you have to go 2 or 3 or 4 years without having before you can be called world class, let alone the best in the world. So all of that being said and explained, that's why I want to ask the question, because I want us to have to debate that today. Imagine that was every question.
He's trolling. That's all he's doing, man. He's just trolling.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So come on now. It'd be crazy. But yes, everybody wants to win tonight. But I just don't think, as a super chat said, I just don't think it's going to gain us any momentum. I would rather there be rotation and we try and keep everybody as fresh as possible. That is what I believe will give us more of a chance of winning. But there's no proof either direction. We win tonight and win on Wednesday. There's no proof it was because we won tonight. If we lose tonight and lose Wednesday, there's no proof. You know, we could win tonight and lose on. What happens if we win tonight and look brilliant and then lose on Wednesday? Like there's so many permutations, and people will just, again, depending on whether you want Amorim to stay or go, you are going to twist whatever happens to suit your narrative anyway. I'm saying, regardless of today's result, I'm treating Wednesday a cup final in isolation because we're that type of team. We haven't had momentum and form in the best part of 2 years. So it's about individual games and not creating momentum for me. Pre-Roman, Arsenal were unbeaten versus Chelsea in 20-plus games. Yeah, that's crazy as well. That is a crazy statistic. Viewers, make sure like buttons have been hit and make sure you are subscribing. Some transfer news to go through today, go through with you all. First and foremost, a big report this morning that Mikel Arteta has given, I want to quote it correctly, this report that's come out from The Athletic, that Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Rodrygo and has given the green light for Arsenal to try and sign him. They know it's going to be difficult, but it is a deal that Arsenal are actively pursuing. Is it the right type of signing for Arsenal Football Club?
No, 100%, bro, because, you know, if you're looking at left wing, yes, Martinelli this season hasn't been as bad as last year, but you can still upgrade on this guy. You know what I mean? In front of goal, he's not that clinical. You know what I mean? He misses a lot of chances. There's still games where man's kicking it off the pitch and whatnot. So Rodrygo, straight away, you're getting someone that starts for them, you know, improves them, and in the final third, you know, could potentially be even way better than this guy. And he actually plays like a Brazilian as well. You know what I'm trying to say? So for Rodrygo, for me, bro, it's a no-brainer. Because even with Chelsea, I'm saying, like, you know, clearly love these market opportunities. This is the sort of market opportunity you should be going for, not just random guys. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, Rodrygo would be a good signing. Would be a good signing for Arsenal for sure.
This market opportunity thing, this is definitely a new thing, right? It's not just me. Like this term, Terry, you're
it's not a new thing. It's just worded differently. The same.
No, I know it's a new term. It's a new phrasing, right?
Yeah, you're not doing what the old men doing, getting annoyed by new terms, are you?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just saying. It's just a thing, isn't it?
Old man,
call it sitting back, not a low block.
Well, no, I just like, do we sit here, like, when do we have the meeting? I just want to know where we say, like, okay, it's now market, or we're all calling it that. Like, who determines? Who do we follow? Who sets the trend? That's what I want.
You could probably use your brain and find out.
You can basically call it, like, when people say like a domino effect, that's basically like a market opportunity if you want to look at it like that as well. That's a term you probably heard before, Lawless.
I think it's
a market opportunity, Lawless. It's like when a transfer is about to happen for a player leaving a club unexpectedly for some reason, and you know there's an opportunity to get him low key on a cheap, because like not just purely footballing reasons. A player that might be really good, he might be shipped out of the club because maybe they signed someone else, or there's a fallout at the club, or they need to generate money. And there you go, a player that ideally would be worth more in the market now has to be shipped out for some reason. So a lot of people are going to be sniffing around.
I think it's a really good word for it, because I think it's important sometimes when it comes to transfers in isolation, as an example, when a player, a kind of deal happens out of nowhere. Oh, where'd that come from? Why does it happen? They've always been explained to us. It just didn't have a kind of phrase that encapsulated that all into one thing, which is now like market opportunity. And I know that there are some people that hate it because they feel that it's like a filler word so that journalists can bullshit and make things up. If that's your opinion, then you're entitled to it, but it isn't. And the market opportunity comes down to Rodrygo might not even be sold by Real Madrid. He may not even be available. But if it does suddenly happen and he comes on the market, it's something that a team's going to, Man United making it into the Champions League could create market opportunities or change the market, because suddenly Gyokeres might be gettable for us, which means we're leading the race for the lap. Another team might then get a market opportunity to go, well, they're sweeping quickly for the lap. United's head's been turned and they're looking elsewhere. We might get a chance to get a deal signed. As an example, it's just a phrase that encapsulates what's always happened in the transfer window. The same as people hate the words
I'm
like
not against new words. It just sounds unnatural.
Processes and projects.
It sounds what? It sounds what? It sounds
unnatural when I hear like regular when it being used in regular conversation.
Yeah, do you know why? Do you know why it sounds unnatural? And I'm not trying to offend anyone because I'm the same as you. I'm a povo like you. We're working class povos. It's because it's something that it's a phrase that has been put together by a well-educated journalist. So for us, it's weird because we don't speak like that day to day. But again, one thing I would say, I call out a lot of journalists and professional pundits all the time for trying to act like fan channels. I don't want them talking like we do. I don't want.
No. Because then when we're talking about that,
imagine David Ornstein's breaking down a transfer and he goes, "Yes, brother, there's this proper pucker deal that Arsenal might be able to get done. You know, if this man becomes available on the market, they're gonna pounce, bruv. They're gonna be in there and they're gonna wrap that shit up. They're gonna be on it like white on rice." Imagine a professional journalist talking like that. We'd all go, "Shut up, you fucking idiot." We want them to talk properly.
I agree, but obviously now we're starting to use it, right? So Don's talking about market opportunities, and obviously
I hear my club talk about it all the time, Lawless, bro. They fucking love that word. I mean?
Imagine being down the pub and go, "Oh, Dave, like Arsenal got this great market opportunity. Do you hear about it? It's going to be the best market opportunity." Right.
No, but the thing is, ultimately, you're going to phrase it, and what you're going to say, you're going to phrase it. You might as well just use the word, bro, because you're going to be like, "Yo, this guy's come on the market." Like, for example, someone said it in the chat as well. Trossard was a great market opportunity because De Zerbi basically banished him. He wasn't playing anymore. He came on the market, bro. That was a great market opportunity, right? So, yeah, like, it is what it is. How many people say disingenuous, bro? Most people didn't even know what disingenuous was before YouTube. Now, everyone
you use that off camera.
This is
market opportunity.
Guys, look at this comment, right? And this is the issue. It's gaslights us into thinking it's possible,
more possible than usual.
More possible than usual, but it isn't, because people said, the same people that say this were like, Zubimendi to Arsenal, it's just PR in January. Turns out it's all been absolutely true. Of course, sometimes these deals don't go through to fruition, but that's part and parcel of it. I think the people that damage the transfer market in terms of the fun that we all had growing up, the fun we all have as adults, like looking at these stories and where players might go and how they fit in, are the overly cynical people that just they're the people that ruin parties. They're the people that just they're boring, horrible people. Like, you don't want to be around them. They're just quick killjoys. "Oh, I hate this." What would you hate? United have had a shit season. We're only talking about signing Cunha for PR. No, we're not. We're trying to improve the team. You fucking idiot. Like, you can twist everything into lies, and it's weird, man. It's weird. If you don't like transfers, just don't talk about them at all. Just ignore them and leave us to it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like those people, people don't like certain music and they moan about it all the time. It's like, bro, it ain't hurting you. Just shut the fuck up talking about it. That's my view on all of this stuff, man. I love a transfer. If you don't, fuck off. Go somewhere else. You don't need to be here.
Well, can we get your opinion anyways, Lawless? Because I'm not gonna lie, you dragged us into the 5-minute conversation.
Yes, sorry. Yes, let's go back to
fantastic market opportunity for Arsenal.
Use that word, please.
I would say, like it's like Don said, it's a position they need, and I think there's a big opportunity there. Due to Rodrygo, I think the competition there. It's just going to be interesting to see who else is in for him, because I've seen him linked with
Liverpool.
With Man Utd.
Liverpool
as well.
I think they're going to move on Diaz. So that's a conversation we should have. Where actually should he go? Should he go to Arsenal or should he go to Liverpool?
Arsenal, yeah. Arsenal really seem to need a left winger. That is a huge need for them next to a striker. So I think that could be a good move for him. Although, again, if Liverpool really want him, and you're going to a team now that's just won the league, that are set for next season, they haven't lost too many key players, they've kept Salah, they're going to strengthen. Then, yeah, Liverpool's going to be a good opportunity. I can't stop saying opportunity now, for fuck's sake.
He's trying his hardest. He's trying his hardest not to use it as well.
I think
stop gaslighting. Stop being disingenuous and gaslighting us with these market opportunities. All these new words.
I think if anything, he should go to Liverpool over Arsenal. I like the player a lot. I think the minute he leaves Real Madrid, he's gonna show out a little bit, because he's been played out of position for years. Don't forget, he's a left winger playing on the right. I like him because he's a very unlike Vinny. he's a little bit more of a team player. Like he'll do the tracking back, he'll do the little link ups. It's not all about like when you watch Vinny, I'm not gonna lie, he's frustrating to watch. He just picks up the ball too many times. He just wants to dribble at defenders, whereas like he'll have the right pass to play Mbappe or someone else, and it's actually frustrating to see a player that takes the wrong decisions more than the right decisions. I feel like Rodrygo does a lot of that, and I think with an opportunity, now the word is stuck in my head, with a chance to go to a team where he has a little bit more usage, and he's expected to have more volume in terms of like just having a ball and shooting and creating all that. I think he's gonna show out. My thing is though, I just don't trust Arteta with a Brazilian winger. I just know this guy's gonna be having him doing like 100-meter sprints back, trying to like track back the opposition's fullback or winger. And I'm not gonna lie, like at some point, I just want to see ballers kind of like ball out a little bit in this Arsenal team. Like I want to see someone being given the Leao treatment, or the Rashford treatment when he scored like 30 goals for us that one season under Ten Hag, which like be yourself more on the pitch rather than just being a robot. I just don't know. I honestly don't know if Arteta can do this. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't managed to get to that point yet. Where I think if he goes to Liverpool, playing on the slot, and the way I've seen, like I've watched enough Liverpool games this season, where I'm like, you know what? If Rodrygo plays down that left, and he has Salah on the right, and I don't know how they're gonna have playing up top. We'll see still. I think Slot allows his attackers to be attackers a little bit more rather than just always tracking back and doing defensive work. Like I just want to see that. I want to see a player like I don't know who's going to be able to go and do what Sanchez did as an example. Sanchez was carrying that team, but he was just more focused on doing everything up front and just showing his quality. I don't know if Arteta allows that platform to his attackers. I really don't. So would I want to see him there? I probably don't. I'd probably rather see him in Liverpool as a football fan, not as a United fan, obviously. But as a football fan, I think he could show up there a little bit more. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. I don't know.
I agree. And obviously the transfer fee is going to be the big stumbling block as well for both teams. Like it depends on what their priorities are. But I just wanted to research the fee. They're talking about 85 mil. Like, you know what I mean? When Arsenal got a splash on a striker, they're going to look at that and go, yeah, can we be splashing 85 mil? And then we've got other areas to strengthen. That could be a stumbling block because it's Real Madrid. They don't have to sell on the cheap. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's not good. They don't have to sell.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll get this one over the line. I feel, and it's not. It depends who else. I think he's a fantastic player. Are Real Madrid going to allow this to happen first and foremost? There are reports that he wants to leave. Sorry, go on, Staffy. What you can say?
No, I said they have to. Real Madrid under what's his name, Xabi Alonso. They actually need to sell a lot of players. And I think I said that one time with Mo. I said this Real Madrid team needs to rebuild their spine more than people think because they have so many big names that don't actually work out together. And for them to get players that fit their best players and play around them, you need to make sales. And Rodrygo was always, for me, one of them. Like, watching this whole season of Real Madrid, whether they play 2 up front or they play a 3, I know Rodrygo got to go. It's just a matter of how much they're going to sell him for. And that's probably the conversation we should have. So, does he go for 40, for 50, for 60, for 70?
Well, they're talking 85 mil stat. That's what's being reported, 85 mil.
85?
Yeah, that's what I just looked up.
Did you say 50 million? You ain't getting no Rodrygo for 50 million.
No, I'm just throwing numbers, but I didn't think he was 85.
Nah, man, you're starting bidding there about 75 million, I reckon. 70 million minimum. 50 M's, no way. Right? He's someone that Chelsea need to be looking at as well, bro, because we're looking at left wingers right now. You know what I mean? For me, Sancho, Madueke, these guys are all squad players. Rodrygo comes Chelsea, he starts straight away. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, listen, I've seen a few loose links. Apparently, we're trying to put our hat in there, our name in there in the hat and that. I don't know, innit? But he'll be a brilliant signing if we got him over the line, bro.
So you're going to spend 100 mil plus on left wing because you're signing Sancho for 25 mil, right? So you're going to end up with Sancho at 25 mil.
We still don't know, bro. I actually don't think he's going to stay Lawless.
Really?
There has been zero news about them agreeing terms.
But they have to, though, right? I thought they had to keep him.
No, but
they can pay Man United £5 million to not sign him, which is brilliant business by us. Imagine that. You have to pay us to give us a player back. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Nothing's been confirmed yet with Sancho. Like he's had a good end to the season. A decision hasn't come out yet. Mudryk literally has been silent, bro. Like
doesn't complete crosses though. 0 completed crosses all season. I
don't understand what that is. Listen, Neto's the guy that crosses the ball in a lot. Sancho doesn't really cross in the ball. He does more cutbacks and like low crosses. But I have seen this guy cross to people and they're missing. You know what I'm trying to say, which is mad. You know, but yeah, man, Rodrygo would be a good signing for all of us.
Such a flawed stat, by the way.
Yeah, it's so
crosses complete is actually one of the worst stats in football.
Yeah, a lot of stats are flawed, man.
When you think about it like this, I could cross the ball to you, Lawless, on the back post. Perfect cross. And the ball is about an inch in front of your head. You miscalculate it. You don't head the ball, and now I pick up the bad stat saying that I didn't complete a cross when it was your fault for not heading that.
They can be slightly flawed, but I bet if you actually looked at the cross completion of a Trent, the cross completion of a KDB, it's still higher than someone like Garnacho that we know isn't a good crosser.
But I'd say these are volume crosses though. I actually don't ever remember Sancho.
I also think the issue with Sancho is the way Sancho puts the ball into the box. I don't think is often considered statistically a cross. I'll give you an example. You've seen a player like win a tackle and you go, oh, what a tackle, but the stats don't show it as a tackle. I don't know what they put it under. You go, hang on, it'll come up after game. This player won no tackles today. I went, I fucking saw him win. And maybe they put it as an interception because of the way he won the ball, or maybe it's because the initial challenge he didn't win the ball and then they kind of battled for it and he leaves it. Maybe he gets a duel win and not a tackle. That's the issue with some of the stats is what you and I have our naked eye see. I go, that's a cross. They might consider it a cutback or a
cutback. Yeah. Sancho does it.
Whatever I think.
That's what he's good at, and that's why I want to keep him, bro. Because when it comes to low blocks, he's very good at the little cutbacks, the little underlapping passes. There's been many cutbacks this season where Jackson, bro, just missing it. You know what I mean? Certain people are just missing it. It's being kicked over the top, and you don't know, bro. Like if we bring in a striker, you might actually have a target man to aim for and look to cross it in a lot more. But Neto looks to do it regardless. Like Neto and Sancho wise is night and day, bro.
You want to keep Sancho though, isn't it? You said to me you want to sign him.
100%. 25 million, bro, as a squad player, a guy that's always fit, pretty much can help against low.
Question mark his wages though, like if he'll drop his wages though. Like,
bro, he's already dropped his wages.
Yeah, but he hasn't though, because Man United are paying part of it, so he's not dropped his wages. You're just not paying the full wage.
We're not paying the full wages, but he knows that he hit the jackpot at United, bro. He's not gonna get 350k, 300k a week like what he did before. Like his stocks have dropped massively.
Yeah, but then why are you saying
before we sign him? I reckon we'll probably pay him like 150 max, 140, 150 max. I reckon
he ain't dropping no 200,000 off his wages. Man.
Who's gonna pay him that, Lawless? Who's gonna pay him that?
I know what you're saying, but I don't know. Maybe you go Saudi or something. But that's a big drop.
Sancho is big Saudi. Bro, it's a drop, but bro, he's made millions, bro. Like he's made a lot of money.
Based on what you're saying, though, based on what you've said, though, I'll put that super chat back up in a minute. But based on what you've been saying behind the scenes, like being a backup player, Chelsea can't be giving their backup player 150 a week. 150 a week in your wage structure.
I think max.
Has to but not max 150. That's the max you pay anyone currently in your wage structure. You can't have someone that you see as
we pay Neto more than that. We pay Enzo more than that. I'm pretty sure we pay Caicedo more than that.
So hang on, but let's just do this properly. Let's actually just break down Chelsea's salary, right? What I'm saying to you is this: he'll still be one of your highest earners, right? Let's look at your current Chelsea salaries. So your highest paid person is Reece James on 250 a week.
That was the old one.
Well, this year they've got this down as this year. So I'm just reading it out of here. Something like slightly higher. So Palmer's on 130. He says here Caicedo's on 150, Neto on 160, Enzo on 180, Fofana on 200k isn't good, but Nkunku. Those players are leaving or not good enough anyway. The point I'm making is you have said he is backup. You can't, even if you like Sancho, you can't be putting no backup on 150 a week when that's the same as the guys that are starting. You're better off giving Man United the 5 million and letting us sell him to Dortmund and going out and buying. If you're going to pay that kind of salary, you're better off finding someone who is a genuine backup who will take 40, 50 grand a week, or buying someone who you'll pay 150 a week to that is better than Jadon Sancho. I actually think if you're going to give him that kind of salary, it's a ridiculous deal at £25 million because you don't want to pay back up that kind of money for 5 years. I don't see the point in it. You're better off not having him, buying someone better. I know Staffy's getting very angry right now because he loves Sancho, but I think Sancho's better suited to other leagues. I don't think Sancho
expired like a year ago.
Yeah, I think.
I'm saying I just giving him that amount of salary is crazy because that's going to cost you more than the transfer over a 5-6 year period.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, bro, if he's actually contributing in the team, right, and playing enough games, I think he'll still play enough games. And for me, I think this guy will get more GA with an actual striker. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to be looking at the wages if he's actually putting up numbers because, like, people like to cook it this year. He's got 14 GA this season. People like to say, oh, but some of it's in the Conference League. Okay, if he didn't get the GA in the Conference League, you lot will be cooking him, saying, how's he not cooking there? I see Sancho in that competition, and it's so easy for the guy, bro. You could tell, like, you're watching certain players, Terry, and you're like, yo, this guy knows he's too good for this level. You know what I'm saying?
Cal makes a point here. I want to look at your opinions on this. He goes, you can pay 150 a week if you're only paying 25 million pound for an asset worth 50 plus million. Let's not be stupid. Do we all think that Sancho in the current market is a 50 million pound plus asset?
No, because at the moment, well, the question is, could you sell him for 50 mil? Is someone going to pay 50 million for Sancho right now? No, I don't think so.
No, he's not worth 50 million no more.
No, that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. For me, like, whatever we offer this guy, even if we offer him 150 a week, I don't see him getting a better offer than Chelsea right now. Like, if he leaves Chelsea, bro, what other top 6 side are taking him? He'll have to leave the country. I'm seeing a few links to Turkey. Like, what is he going to turn down? If they're going to turn down, let's say Chelsea offered him what? I don't know, 100k a week, yeah? Because I'm looking right now at some of the squad players we've got here. Most of them on like 80k, 100k or whatever. Let's say we offer him that sort of wage. Is he really going to turn that down and then go to Turkey or go somewhere else on loan? You know, he's in London right now. Like, it's now time in his career to just knuckle down and say, bro, I need a bit of stability. Whether I've got to be a squad player and that, let me just do my thing. United, I hit the jackpot. I earned over 300k a week over there for so long. I'm rich, yeah. Let me just humble myself. Let me just humble myself. That's how you gotta look at it right now, bro. If I'm part of Sancho's team right now, that's what I'll be telling him, bro. Because getting 100k a week, Terry, after earning 300k a week for what, 3 years, 4 years, are you gonna be broke? Are you gonna be broke? You're still getting a lot of money, bro.
It's just very rare. It's very rare. It seems to happen for players. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. He should take away, yeah, because he was paid this ridiculous amount. It was a really stupid idea to pay him that much money, but you know, players just rarely seem to want to do that, especially to that level of.
I hear where you man are coming from. I want to go back to this earlier super chat that says Liverpool had a £100 million bid for Rodrygo rejected by Real last year. I have to imagine they will go back in for him if a deal can be done for 85. And Liverpool could, but on top of Liverpool, Liverpool is seen as ahead of Man City in the race for Wirtz. The Frimpong deal is literally, it's done. They said done and dusted. Legalities being taken care of. There was also a report last night, and Arsenal fans need to keep their eyes open for this one, that they may come in and seriously try and hijack and sign the Victor Gyokeres deal. Liverpool are moving a very, very serious level right now, which they don't do. Well, you know, they don't do it that often because their fans like Tom Little and Hussam are always slagging off their ownership. But Frimpong's done. They're chasing Wirtz. There's talks of hijacking Gyokeres. And you're right, that they are heavily linked to Rodrygo if he becomes available for a market opportunity.
Yeah, that's Michael Edwards' second year. He likes to do that. First year, he kind of assesses the situation. Second year, they kind of go in. And they didn't spend last summer, so we should have all known that this money that carried on to a year later, it was going to get spent.
They should be splashing.
It's going to be like only 40 mil. Yeah, they're going to spend a lot, bro. They're going to get Frimpong. It was only 40 mil. They're going to move on a lot of players. They're trying to move on, obviously, Nunez and Diaz and Jota. They're trying to move on a lot of players. I expect them to spend big. If they get Frimpong, Wirtz, and we still don't even know which striker they're gonna sign, and if they get a Rodrygo-esque on the left, bro, they might go back to back, bro. They might go back to back.
Yeah, this is the time, like, because even before when they won the Premier League, I don't feel like they really ever seem to go crazy in the transfer window. And now with the fact that, like you said, they haven't spent last summer, they've, I think, really comfortable when it comes to PSR, FFP. They've got flipping the Premier League prize money. they obviously went, what was it, quarterfinals of the Champions League. So obviously Trent has gone for free, but they've freed up his wages at the same time. So there's money there. Like you said, if there are them players that they can move on and sell, they should have like a 200 mil plus summer. Like, there's no reason why they can't go crazy in the transfer this season and be serious rather than just be like, oh, let's win it one off.
It could be more than that. It could be more than that. You got to remember, right? Most of these clubs the size of Liverpool could easily afford to spend 150 with no debt, like Man United have got. 150, 200 billion could be spent every summer, easily. If they wanted to. So they didn't spend last year. Then you've got this year, and they've won the league, so there's more prize money. They could drop 300 plus million, and maybe they'll need to because City are going to spend. It's anticipated City are going to spend 250, 300, which means over January and this summer they're investing It just shows how much money's out there. Listen, Arsenal rightfully have been criticised for spending 600-700 million and not getting over the line. City, a team that won a 4-peat, are about to drop in the space of 6 months. Basically 500 million on that squad. It just goes to show you that that's why I've always said, I get why Arsenal get the criticism, but whether they won the league or not, people go, why you got to keep spending? Because if you don't keep spending, you will get left behind. Liverpool are champions of England. If they don't go out and spend 200, 300 million pound this summer, sometimes you can spend less than that. Like Frimpong, I think is worth a lot more than the 25 million pound they're going to get him for. But you need to go out and spend money. If you don't, you get left behind.
The question is though, are they going to get these players though? You know what I mean? Because we know Ornstein and Liverpool aren't really friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to hit us with a bomber for Caicedo, and that I had Monts waking me up barking. We dodged the bomber. You know, you try to talk about but Ornstein said Zubi should be a formality that should be done, and that didn't happen. Arsenal have got my man. You know what I'm saying? They spoke about, you know what I mean?
What are you saying? They don't have Paul. What are they saying? What are you saying? They don't have Paul.
I'm saying that they've got a Rico sheet of names of players that they haven't been able to get, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can list off bare man, bro. Bare man that these guys haven't been able to get. Yeah, I see Monts on the timeline the other day getting rocky, getting a bit excited. Oh, I'm ready to get my heart broken again. You know what I'm saying? I think Verts is going to stay in Germany, if anything, bro. I think they're probably going to stay in Germany or probably go City, bro. I'm seeing a few things right now. Liverpool, apparently, they're ahead in the race, but you still have to be skeptical about FSG, bro. How often
you think
these guys go over the line?
Is Kirk's point fair though? But all of that happened without Edwards. Is that a deciding factor? Michael Edwards is seen as one of the best in the business.
Let's see. You know, because I'm skeptical about them. As a Liverpool fan right now, I'll be very skeptical about these things that are coming out. Because when I even read the article about Verts, it's basically just like, okay, we'll pounce if the opportunity comes up, sort of thing. There's nothing really more to it. You know what I mean? There's nothing really more to the actual links itself. It doesn't say anything about Liverpool in a bid. It doesn't say any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Where do you think he should go in the Premier League? Liverpool or City, if you had to choose one?
Oh, I would go City, personally.
Interesting.
You see that there's a little sign there you got against Liverpool.
Haaland's there already, bro. He'll be feeding Haaland, yeah. Rodri behind him. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, we already know you got Pep there. I know, obviously, Liverpool have got a good team themselves, but I'll probably go City, man. You won't rebuild that midfield. Liverpool's midfield hasn't been a problem, really. Like, Szoboszlai, yes, they can get an upgrade on him. Verts is definitely an upgrade, but Man City, you're helping them massively, bro. Massively.
If he ends up going to City, by the way, instead of Liverpool, I think Phil Foden is finished out here. Or you have to be the heir to KDB, and then they have to adjust the market when you're there. Yeah, he's finished out here. He'll never be the main guy, especially if they get Reinders and. I love how he spelled reindeer.
Oh, Reinders. That's a Rudolph. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce my man's name. I'm gonna call him Rudolph. If they get Rudolph, Verts, and Rodri.
This super chat though, right? That literally says, like, imagine City get Verts and Rudolph the reindeer. Liverpool get Frimpong and HIJACK, like a player of that level. Arsenal get Gyokeres and a great left winger. Chelsea step up. Next season could be fire. I mean, I feel like people are more excited about last season than this season's ending. And it could be. I mean, but look, as a United fan, I don't want to see any of those players go to those teams. But as a football fan, It's what the Premier League should be doing with the amount of money our clubs generate, the amount of money our league generates. We should be looking to go out and get the very best available in the market and bring them into our football clubs. And it will make it more exciting. And what it will also do, it will remove City will have no excuses of, injuries or the squad not being good enough or tired next year if they don't win. Liverpool will have no excuses not to be retaining their title, and Arsenal, if they sign that, will have no excuses either. And I think would make it an even more amazing season from a content perspective, because we'll be talking about who delivered and who didn't, the quality, who stepped up to the pressure and who didn't, as opposed to, but our squad depth, and our owners didn't spend, and the players were a little tired after a quad and Rodrygo got injured. Dropping that kind of money, I think, removes a lot of those conversations, which from a content point of view, I think it makes it more about football, which is important. Thank you, Gunnar Carlos. Joshua here says to Staffy and Terry, why are you guys so certain that the players, not the manager, that's primarily at fault for this season? Because every manager has had that has been sacked wasn't primarily down to the players.
I mean, I used my eyes all season, and I see the stats to back it. I see the worst front line. I see a striker on 49 games with 10 goals, worst XG in the league. We have a winger with the worst dribbling stat in the league, worst conversion rate from big chances in the league. We have a goalkeeper with the most mistakes leading the goals in the league. I mean, it's not that hard to watch, is it?
I think he's saying, though, Ten Hag, Jose, Oli, all of these, like, a lot of fans were comfortable in saying it was the manager, not the players.
Yep.
So again, why now is it the players,
so those people are also still saying it's the manager. So most people that were Oli out will win the league without him. Ten Hag out will ball out without him. Get rid of Jose and Fossil Football will ball out without him. They're also saying Amram out. They've been wrong. They're sort of like 5-0, these guys. The fact they'll get anyone listens to them is going from frustrating to comical. Do you know what I'm saying? It's literally they have got 3 or 4 times exactly what they asked for. People like me that said, look, if we make that change, great. Jose's got to go. But if we don't fix these fundamental problems in terms of imbalanced squad, poor recruitment, player attitudes, players turning up when they want, player power, essentially. If we don't fix those things, the key fundamental, doesn't matter how good the next manager is, in a quicker period of time than the previous manager, will be fucked and we'll be getting really bad results again. Yeah. Every time I've said that, and every time we've started off well with a new manager, everyone's going, told you were wrong. 6 months, 18 months, 2 years later, we're back to where we were, and then even worse, right? Yet people don't want to listen this time around. I find it, and I'm not saying I'm 100% correct. I just don't understand. So, Joshua Jack, the players are a bigger problem and have been a bigger problem at this club since the Jose days. The players were a bigger problem than Jose. They're a bigger problem than Oli. They're a bigger problem than Ten Hag. And they're a bigger problem now than Amarim. But it isn't one thing. It's not just they're bad players. It isn't just they've all got bad attitudes. There's an unbalanced squad, which isn't their fault. That's a lack of direction at the football club. Poor recruitment and poor quality. It's not necessarily their fault as individuals. It's not Ugate's fault he can't play like Pedri, as an example. That's just not what he is. There's an unbalanced squad, poor quality, and there are some players, because it's learned behavior from previous years and regimes, that just don't work that hard. And when they're told you've got to run through brick walls or you won't play, they down tools further because they've got away with it. And every time we've sacked a manager, these players have been given a clean slate and they've been able to stay at the club. None of these players would have survived more than a year, maybe 2, at a Man City or a Liverpool at their peak, at a Barcelona, at a Real Madrid. We go on all the time and say, oh, Real Madrid wouldn't let managers be this poor. But Real Madrid wouldn't have allowed a squad like this to have been developed over a 12-year period for a manager to fail in this way. What we're doing is going for the low-hanging fruit always is blame the manager. But we've consistently now blamed the manager, sacked him, given somebody else a job and hyped them up and ended back in this position. I want to break that, almost like Groundhog Day. You've kind of got to break the routine to create a different outcome. And for me, I'm more willing to do that than just go blame manager, bring someone else new in with new ideas and start again. Do you know why? Because these players will do it. If they get adapted to day one and get told, guys, what way do you want to play? All right, we'll play that way for you. You'll get a really good knee-jerk reaction for 4, 5, 6 months. And then because I heard what's his name, Sean Dyche say I'd get better results in the short term. He's right, because he would come in, he would adapt to the players would work their bollocks off for him, and we start going up the table. Then we get to a point where the fans and the club go, right, we've got to start getting towards title races now. Yeah, you can't win a title playing this way. Want a few new players. We've got to adjust the way we play. We've got to run harder. We've got to press more. We've got to do this and do that. And the players will go, fuck you, we ain't doing that, because they've said fuck you to the previous 5-6 managers. The results will start to drop, and everyone will go do the same thing again. They'll go, this manager is a fraud. This manager lied to us. This manager can't follow through. This manager it was a new manager bounce. Fuck this. The players deserve better. We do the same thing again for the 8th, 9th time, and we'll be having this conversation again, Joshua Jack. For me, I just want to try something different. I know that for a lot of content creators, if it's not manager in, manager out, there's no traction. So you've got to do it. It's what rivals want to hear. Rivals always want to hear you shit on your manager. That I get it. I understand it. I've been in this game since it begun. But for me, I am just not advocating for a repeat of the previous 5 or 6 mistakes. Sacking managers was never going to fix us. Fixing the player power problem, creating a balanced, high quality, highly athletic squad has to be done. And it doesn't matter who the manager is. If they have a style of play and they want to make this group of players work hard and make it deliver to the nth degree, this group are never going to do that for anybody. We need to back whoever the coach is, forget it's Amarim, for a period of time. The squad needs to be built. Then we assess where we are. We can't keep working. We can't repeat for the 6th time the previous 5 mistakes. I can't see it, my friend.
Yeah, I was listening to Rio was talking about the idea of why players go on and do better elsewhere. Wan-Bissaka, West Ham, Anthony, it's Scott McTominay, and he done the whole, the pressure of the shirt. The shirt's too heavy. It's the pressure of the shirt when players come in. And I was thinking, where you are now, that's a massive problem, because you're down at 16th. You're down in the dumps. You need to raise your state. You're not going to go and get those high pressure players for the most part. The players that we're talking about linked with Arsenal, linked with Liverpool.
No. Lawless. They've got to lose next week to make sure that stays the same. Yeah, because if they get Champions League football, that changes things in the market.
Okay, yeah, it helps. But I'm saying to a degree, like all around the pitch. So you get these players that perform well other places, but because you've got this stigma about Man United, this weird pressure of the shirt, you're going to keep having these problems of players underperforming at your club.
But this is a great point, because this is why the standards argument, in reality, when you scrutinize it and have it will never, you can never have these conversations with a lot of the members of Standard FC, because the problem with that group is low IQ, and low IQ people can't debate. But when you start delving into it, does it help Man United the second we sign a player, regardless of their age? You've got to now be the new Ronaldo. You've got to be the new George Best. You've got to go and win us a Prem now. Does it help us? Does that standard make it easier or harder for a club in our current position to deliver? For me, doesn't mean you shouldn't have standards. Shouldn't mean you shouldn't want the best. But people fail to recognize the current game state, the current situation that we are in. There should be an expectation to get to that point, first and foremost. Secondly, I don't even necessarily think it's always about handling the pressure of Man United. I don't think Wan-Bissaka was one of the players I'd ever have put into that category that he didn't work his backside off for the club and try his best every single game. But others don't. There are other players that pick and choose when they want to play, when they want to press. Rashford did it for 18 months. And when I saw him come on the pitch for Aston Villa in that opening game, when every Man United fan saw he was pressing, winning tackles, we're all sitting there and I was like, oh, great, he's doing it. We'll get some money for him. But there was a part of me that was upset and angry. I have not seen you do that for 18 months. I haven't seen you do it. So for me, the issues are diverse in the sense of some don't work that hard, some are insubordinate, some don't have the quality. Wan-Bissaka's issue, I don't think was pressure. He just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough overall, consistently enough to get us to where we want to be. And that isn't a dig at West. He's a Premier League player. But there's a difference. And the problem that we have is that we've just never built a squad that has been balanced or good enough. Like, that's one thing that always gets ignored. We've consistently had poor recruitment, by and large, for the best part of 12 years. We're probably at the worst level of squad we've had. Not even got athleticism now. All of these, every time it comes to Man United, people want to try and come up with like a one-stop solution. It's the pressure. We've got to find players that can handle the pressure and we'll be okay. It's more than that.
Because they're used to the echo chambers telling them it's a manager issue. I just seen this enough, bro. I've seen it enough.
No, absolutely. And as I say, listen, I'm not against the standards people have, and the low IQ people. Listen, you guys can mention other YouTube. I ain't talking about other YouTubers because I've listened to their stuff. They don't just say have high standards and it's fixed. They break it down what that looks like. You can have high standards, but also understand where you are today. And any Man United fan who thinks 2 or 3 good signings and a brand new manager and this team could challenge straight away just because you're going to bang on your desk or scream abuse at players, that isn't going to fix a football club that quickly. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And if you haven't got that, fair enough. Well, once, I just hope that this time around the club isn't stupid and listens to the fans and has these stupid knee-jerk reactions. Find a plan, stick to it, persevere through the hard times, and there's a good chance we come out the other end in a much better position. You know what I mean? And then then everyone else can join us and catch up. Simple as that. Moving on slightly from all of this, is Yamal the best player in the world?
Yeah.
Yes. And I have to go, unfortunately.
Stuff you like. Oh, I thought you were gonna chop it up quickly. In a bit.
No, I really gotta go, unfortunately. I gotta cut it short today. Big up to
All
everyone.
right, bro. No worries, my man.
No.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, in a bit. Yeah, right now, you would have to say, yeah, I mean, just watching him for 17, man. When I think what we was all probably doing at 17, I was just knocking about the streets, doing nothing. And now this kid is like doing amazing things with a football, winning trophies and unbelievable. 17, man. Blows my mind. But yeah, I mean, it's a very like, when you say he's the best in the world, right? It's very sort of subjective. You can't quantify it. There's nothing you can sit there and say, unless we look at stats and we was to break down, well, how many players has he dribble past, goals, assists, and that. But just off what you see in performances, it's hard to put someone up against him right now in that position for sure.
Bro, he just won the league. It's the second time he's won the league. Ronaldo won the league only twice, innit? In Spain as well. So he's matched Ronaldo's record, which is mad, at 17. He's got 41 goal contributions this season. The Euros was obviously last year, but that wouldn't count. Does that count within this time around, Terry? Like for the Ballon d'Or, would that count as part of this?
No, because it's part of, they do it seasonality wise. I think that counts as last season. I think.
Okay, so this year, looking at it here, he's won the league and he's won the Spanish Cup. He's won the league and he's won the Spanish Cup. Champions League would have cemented it for me. But that's the question though? Is that going to be enough to win it? Because they look at what you've won as well, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes, they look at what you've won because, and not what you've won. They look at what you've been influential in helping your team to win, which is why that's why when I hear any person on TV go, trophies shouldn't count towards personal accolades, or literally the award that you got. This is the irony: the award that those individuals hold up as maybe one of the most pivotal when it comes to player debates, you literally partly win it for how you've influenced your team to win trophies. It's again, no one actually believes that. It's just used to protect a certain couple of players through the history of the game. And you look at what he did. He doesn't have massive goals this year, like actual goals, but he's got a hell of a lot of goal contributions, man of the match performances. The goal last night, again, sometimes you do just need those iconic moments because that is an iconic goal. That goal will be played forever and a day in Barcelona, in La Liga. It clinched a title. It was a screamer in a very emotional, very close in terms of the scoreline derby. Last night was one of those moments I speak about so regularly on the Football Terrace. Those massive pivotal moments that a player has in the pursuit and the achievement of winning a major trophy. That for me is legacy building. Then what you have is the technical ability, the balance, the flair, the strength. I actually will put his age into this as well and say it's even more miraculous that he's this good, this balanced, this intelligent at 17. A lot of 17-year-olds have the rawness and the speed, but the decision-making is off because they're just not experienced yet. They're like a learner driver. Like you pass your driving test, you still drive like this, don't you, really nervously for a period of time. Yamal is just phenomenal. I do believe he's the best teenager that Europe's ever produced. I don't think we've ever produced a better teenager. And I'm talking 16, 17 years old. Pele and R9 are the only two in my lifetime. R9 was my lifetime. Pele I didn't see that I would talk about in this, that I think are in that ballpark. But as a 16 turning 17-year-old as he was this year, he's at a level like I've never seen. And I know Mbappe scored a lot of goals at 18. I know Rooney was killing it at 17 and 18. But I just don't. Mbappe, I don't want to be disrespectful. He did it at a World Cup at 18. This is a year earlier. But this kid's doing it in La Liga, a 38-game season, not a cup competition with an amazing nation as well, right?
And the thing is,
it's just brilliant. I just put him at the top. I'm not saying Mbappe's bad. I'm not saying Rooney was bad. I'm not saying any of these guys were bad. You know, we've got to remember, Messi had barely kicked a ball at this age. I'm just saying, a 16, 17-year-old, for me, the best teenager I've ever seen Europe produce.
That's what it is for me, Terry. Like, it's the natural ability. You know what I mean? It's the arrogance that he's got. Like, he knows how good he is, and he shows it. He plays football with a smile on his face. Even yesterday, bro, like when he scored that goal, I see my man sticking his tongue out at the guys that were like booing him and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I love that, bro. That's what football's all about. Because at the end of the day, football's about entertainment. There's too many robots, and players like Yamal, they just play with freedom, bro. You know what I mean? You watch him. Cool. He's got what? Is it 9 goals this season, or is it 7 goals he's got this season in the league?
Well, no, he's got 17 goals in all competitions. But he's got 8 in the league. But he has 17 goals and he has 20. So someone here says Yamal hype. Look at the GA.
Yeah, you see? That's what's happening.
He has 25 assists and 17 goals. Okay, so that is 43. That is 43 GA in 53 games as a 17-year-old. That, for me, is absolutely outrageous. As a 17-year-old, that is out of this world. It is, and again, you're doing it in either the hardest or second hardest, depends on which league you say, league out there. He's leading Barcelona with the pressures that come with that. Some of the other players we'll mention were doing it for much smaller teams with less pressure. For me, it is just on every level, best European teenager that we have ever seen.
That's what I'm saying, Terry. Just use your eyes and just watch him, bro. Like, when you watch him, you just enjoy football, bro. You enjoy the game. You know what I mean? And I hope there's more of these kids that are coming through. You know what I mean? The likes of Yamal and that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. And I'm glad that there's a lot of people that are saying he deserves the Ballon d'Or, because I'm sick and tired of this. See, GA is important as an attacker, yes, but overall performances, like I always tell you, Terry, the whole time you've known me, I've always spoken to you about these overall performances, how influential you are away from the GA. I see a lot of that from Yamal. He might not score, he might not get the final assist, but you see him involved in the moves. The amount of times I see Barcelona attacking, right? Man just pings it across to Rafinha. You know what I mean? He'll get the ball, he'll just quickly link up with someone else. He's drawing all these players in. People want to come to him, and he quickly pops off the ball. Before you know it, someone else gets the space to score. You know what I'm saying? Go look at the assist he got for, was it Pedri the other week that scored? That was Yamal that attracted all those players towards him, bro. Pops it off to Pedri. Pedri scores an absolute banger. You know what I mean? So he's fucking quality, bro. Amazing footballer. Amazing.
Yes. Sometimes, like you said, GA is overstated. Like back when you had R9, Ronaldinho, players like that. I don't remember people talking about their GA as much. Like, people used to talk about what they do with a football, how amazing they were to watch the play, like the talent. No one was like obsessed by their GA, you know. So nowadays, obviously, it's become more GA, but like someone was saying earlier, players do play like robots. So when you see someone with more freedom and expression and actually can show their talents, you have to just sit there and appreciate the talent. But that, even though Terry said the GA is up there, but people are so focused on how talented he is, we're not even realizing, you know, he's got great GA. But like,
it's over 40 goal contributions. That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
That's it.
Yeah, it's the thing with it is as well, though, like GA is one of these things. It's the detail and the stats are more readily available to us now, as an example. But if you think about like R9, like you mentioned, when did he win the Ballon d'Or? Did he win it twice, R9, or once?
Boy, this is before my time.
Didn't it? Was it 2000? Was it 2001?
He won it in 97, and he won it in 2002. And he got. This is why, like, GA is and isn't overstated. So in 2002, it was an interesting one because he obviously went on to win the World Cup. He didn't have a great. Well, he did and he didn't. He only played 16 games for Inter Milan that season, but scored 7 goals. The following season, he scored 30 goals. I don't know how many assists he got. He obviously had a very, very good World Cup with Brazil, which helps. But in 1997, again, I don't know what the assists were, but he scored 47 goals. And this is what I say to people. It's why where I slightly disagree with you, Lawless, is I do think we've always been not obsessed, but we've always understood the impact of the GA. So, for instance, say Yamal had looked amazing in games, great skills, wonderful dribbles, but all of these crosses were going out for frozen goal kicks. All of these shots were weak and not accurate. We wouldn't be talking about the Ballon d'Or. It's the goals and the assists coupled with the ability and the dribbling and the freedom. And you need both. Most of the time, you think about when most players, attacking players, this is because when defenders and midfielders have won Ballon d'Ors, like Modric's and Zidane's, Cambiaso's, that wasn't about the goals, because you don't assess midfield players and you don't assess attacking midfielders maybe, but you don't assess midfield players like Modric, and you don't assess goal defenders on their GA. But I do think attackers have always been assessed on it. It's ironically, we were speaking about earlier on transfers, it's just a more colloquial modern day phrase where we talk about GA as that word GA. It was never called GA when we were younger, but Maradona was a great example. I remember being on a stream and everyone was like, what I love about Maradona is that no one cared about how many goals or assists he got when he was playing. But they did. But that's why he was Maradona, because he had the skill, the touch, the flair, the beauty, the freedom. But he regularly scored goals or created goals that won his team's games. And that's, for me, why Yamal is so amazing, because at 17 years of age, he has it all as an attacker. Creativity, flair, can go inside and out, can dribble, can pass, can shoot, can create, scores goals, creates chances, wins his team football matches, and is integral in his team winning major trophies. He at 17 is the complete package, which is why I would vote for him if I had the chance to win the Ballon d'Or. I think he's just been absolutely out of this world. On top of that, loads of other players have had good seasons for the goals and the assists. But when I watch Yamal play, his ability on the ball is just better. This, in my opinion, this season, which is what it's based on, by the way, a lot of people go, well, I think this player's better than him overall. It's not about better last season, better next season. It's about this particular campaign. I haven't seen a better player than him on the ball. I haven't seen a better player with the touch, the skills, the flair. He's just been amazing in every single capacity. And I love to see it, because I felt like football had become a bit robotic. And I'm hoping now that he becomes an inspiration for more of these youngsters.
Oh, no, you're gonna see one at my club next season. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Esteval, man. You know what I mean? You're gonna see one, bro.
You've been watching
The
him.
problem is, you can put one of these players in one of the Premier League teams, but the problem is it's the coaching. It's how you're asking them to play, what role you're trying to. So if you're turning Yamal into assistant player and ask him to track back, like, you have to give him that free role. So like the youngster can come up and play like Yamal and all of that stuff. But again, it's on the coaches to allow them to have that freedom of expression to play that way.
I think this allow thing is a bit overstated though, man. Because if you look at Man City, for example, right? Grealish, cool. Grealish, it's Terry's boy, by the way. Grealish will take the ball left wing, retain it, and all of these things, and people going about, oh, it's Pep that's making him do that. So why can Doku come over there and play in the exact same position and actually run at people? You know what I mean? That it's more of a player thing. I look at the player first. I don't believe this thing of a manager that tells wingers, especially attackers, to play within themselves, bro. Obviously, they're gonna say, look, if you're in a position to lay it off, right? But if you're in a position to chef man up, you do that, bro. You know what I mean? I don't like this thing now where it's like everything gets blamed on the coaches. There's no accountability for the players.
Wait, you think football in the Premier League is boring and robotic because of the players, not the coaching, not the systems, not the style
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. I think in today's game, like, how many footballers can you look at and say are similar to Yamal? Right? I'm looking at Yamal, I'm looking at Doué, I'm looking at Esteval, I'm looking at
you're talking a lot of facts here. And I think that, yes, systems play a part. You know, example being, look how hard Kvaratskhelia was tracking back to help Núñez defend against Saka. He was doing that. He was doing the hard yards. He was doing the dirty work. But when he gets the ball, he takes the risk. Chelsea fans have been frustrated at Sancho the same way I used to be. We know he's got the talent and the ability, but the amount of times he'll go, I'm not going to try and take this man on because I might lose it. I'm going to recycle the ball. You have to take risks. I've defended Bruno Fernandes, but by the way, Bruno Fernandes doesn't have the same ability on a ball that Yamal does. But I like the fact that he and KDB and Trent Alexander-Arnold will be at the edge of the box and they'll take risks. Yes, they might lose possession. Yes, the cross might not come off, but they take the risks. Players that take risks change games and entertain us. And too many players are just I don't think it's a system. And the example there of Jack Grealish, City fans defended him for years and years and years and years. The manager makes him not do it. But every other fucker that went out to that position tried taking people on. And I just don't believe when he was on the pitch, the manager said, right, you don't take no. Because the worst bit was, we all saw him at Villa. This man used to glide past people for fun.
Exactly.
And then
so why is he doing it?
And even Palmer's a perfect. Palmer's a perfect example as well, because last year, Lawless, I was seeing him actually running at people with intent, right? This year, I'm seeing him, playing the safe option. He'll try cross it rather than running at someone, and then all of a sudden after the game, it's Maresca. And I'm like, no.
Why?
If you watch Cole Palmer last week against Liverpool, right? That's the Cole Palmer I was watching last year. And the reason why he played so well is because he was playing with a lot of intent. He was actually running at players, trying to win tackles, trying to do a little bit of skill, flair, being brave, right? You can't put it all on the manager, bro. Like, yes, I know Pep likes to keep the ball and that, but bro, I feel like we're getting in this day and age now where they don't hold players accountable, bro. You got to look at the players as well, man.
Players are just, do you know what it is? And I think this is where stats do play a part, because again, we've done it with Bruno Fernandes as an example. And I think the players will see this. Oh, I need to make sure I ain't losing that possession 20 times a game because I'll get fucking cooked for it. Why are you losing it? Are you losing it because the way Ugarte lost the ball against West Ham?
Yeah.
That's how Bruno was losing the ball. If that's how KD was losing the ball 20 times a game, rip them. But if you're losing I'll give you an example. If Bruno tonight at Stamford Bridge plays a brilliant through ball that Højlund doesn't get on the end of and it goes out for a goal kick, that counts as possession lost by Bruno on a stat. But Bruno's done the right thing. Players need to be less scared of making a mistake when trying to change a game. Like, play football in the right areas. Take your man on. Try the through ball. Attempt the cross. Have a shot every now and then. Right?
I literally...
You saw Odegaard stop shooting because he'd become too safe. What look what he did against Liverpool. He took the shot. I know the deflection. Imagine he was taking them shots in those Champions League semi-finals when he should have done. Could have scored. Could have changed the game.
I'm telling you.
Risks.
You're spot on, bro. I think a lot of these footballers see what people say online, and it's like, yo, if I try to run past him and I slip, all of a sudden there's gonna be videos of me getting clipped up. Like it's a toxic time, innit? It's a toxic time.
But standards make you better, don't they? No, I'm joking. I wonder
it's not a joke. It's true, bro. It's not good, bro. It's not good.
Flick makes Yamal press higher for his system, but lets him play freely in possession. To be fair, it's a trade-off. But then what Yamal's got to do for that freedom is deliver on a very high and frequent level. So I never minded Ronaldo at United, peak Ronaldo, not getting as involved in the defensive work as Rooney, but that's because he was breaking records in terms of goals, assists, and putting the ball in the back of the net. Messi was the same. Imagine Messi lacked the kind of defensive attributes he did, but he was bringing in 5 goals a season and 3 assists. It doesn't work. When you're scoring 70, 80 goals in a calendar year, your team could afford for you to not be involved. But it's equally, though, it's why PSG never got to the highest level, because you suddenly had 3 players in their attack that didn't want to do any of that defensive work, and it left too many holes. It's about balance. This here says Yamal is his position. Sorry, Yamal is his position on the pitch, places him more as the main creator for the team, and the reason why most of his goals are bangers. Next season, I feel Flick will get him closer to the goal. Yeah, maybe for more tap-ins and things like that. At the same time, the fact he can score those screamers is amazing, because it's a skill, scoring from distance as regularly as he does. I think I read somewhere that shots from the edge of the box have something like a 5% chance by and large of going in. So, I feel like he's definitely scored. I'd love to check. I feel like he scored more than 5% of his long-range shots this year.
And that keeper is the one that's being linked to Arsenal and that, isn't it? He's a good keeper.
And he's good. No goalie. Even Donnarumma weren't saving that one last night. It's just too good. He was too good.
Top bins, bro. Top bins.
Yeah.
It was. Boys, listen, I want to thank you both for being on the show as ever. I know Staffy's already left us. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. We're live tonight after the game, so make sure you're tuning into the Football Terrace for that. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel, so go and support them over there, please, people. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace.